Welcome back to Thrive by the Rising Muse. I'm Natty,
I'm Veda,
and we are here to thrive.
Today, we're getting really honest about something that so many of us hide behind the smile: burnout, not just from work, but from life, from relationships, and even from ministry.
This isn't just about being tired, it's that deep soul level exhaustion where you feel empty, disconnected, like even the things you love to do don't feel you anymore.
It's the burnout that we don't talk about because sometimes, especially in faith circles, we're told to just pray more, push through, or be strong. But sometimes strength looks like stop it.
You're going to take a nap.
Yeah.
So today we're breaking the silence. We're going to talk about what burnout really is, how to recognize it, how to start healing from it mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
So if you ever felt like you're running on fumes, this conversation is for you.
Like always, let's start by naming it. Burnout isn't just about being tired. It's the exhaustion that comes when you give more than you receive. When the balance between pouring out and being poured in disappears.
Yes. It shows up as irritability, numbness, loss of motivation, cynicism, physical fatigue, brain fog, and sometimes spiritual silence. You start feeling disconnected from yourself and from God and from purpose.
You know, burnout can look very different for everybody. For some, is that job that keeps taking and never giving. For others, is caring for everyone else, the kids, the family, the church, while never taking a break for yourself. Or it could be all of the above. You and I have never experienced burnout, right?
No,
We have no idea what that means.
just learn how to spell it. There's a verse that always hits me when I think about burnout.
Yeah.
Matthew 11:28 through 30, where Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light."
Yeah. That verse reminds me that rest isn't laziness, it's sacred. And I struggle with that. Sometimes when I need to stop and take a break, it's like, I'm not doing enough. I feel lazy. But Jesus himself modeled rest. He withdrew from the crowds to pray, to breathe, and be still. Yet we feel guilty for doing the exact same thing. I know I do.
I used to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't anymore.
No, you have won that battle already.
Yes, I'm an old elephant. That's where emotional burnout hides behind guilt. We think if we stop, we'll disappoint someone. But the truth is, if you can't pour from an empty cup,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
So ask yourself, where in your life are you running on empty? Where in your life are you running on empty?
Everywhere. I mean, really?
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
But just
My thing with rest right now is it's not even about, it's not about disappointing other people. I just think things that need to be done are not going to get done. But the part that finally crashes in my head is if I'm not here, I get sick, then they're really either not going to get done or somebody else will do them, figure it out how to get them done. Um, but yeah, I have been burnt out for a minute. I have started slowing down recently, trying to get a few specks of rest here and there. It's not like me to do that because I'm always on 12, not 10, on 12. But where am I running empty? I think spiritually, I've been trying to feed myself pretty good lately with the Bible studies and stuff that we've been doing. I think rest is the part where I'm mentally, I'm definitely running on empty. I'm on fumes. Sometimes I can't even remember my name.
Well, I find out that when my mind is tired,
Hmm.
the rest of me becomes tough.
Oh, of course.
So I'm mentally drained.
Hmm.
It's going to flow into the rest of me.
Yeah.
And I won't be able to achieve things in the way that I want to achieve them.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That lack of energy.
So let's talk about the different phases of burnout because it's not just work that burns you out.
No, it's everything, everywhere.
Mhm.
There's career burnout when deadlines and demands pile up and your worth starts feeling tied to productivity.
Then there's relationship burnout when you're constantly the giver, the fixer, the listener, and you slowly realize you've been emotionally drained trying to keep up with the fact that others are okay, but what about are you okay?
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
part of the problem.
Yep. And let's not forget the ministry burnout when serving God starts to feel like serving expectations instead, when the joy of helping turns into a burden because you're stretched too thin.
I think that's a very hard one because sometimes you think that it's a the fact that you're burnout is a spiritual attack, not recognizing that is that you need to stop saying yes to everything.
Hmm.
Um, as women and as Christians, we've kind of been told that we are supposed to help and help and help, but now is healthy as well, and I don't think we've all achieved that level of awareness that saying no it's important too because again, if serving 10 ministries and you're not tending to yourself or your house, that's not balance. And if you said no to somebody, they may get upset, but they'll find somebody else to do it. Or maybe that was something that didn't need to be done.
Well, I learned years ago that you need to get your own house together before you come out to the house of God. And I did not realize this until my husband said something years ago. We were much younger. You always at church.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I turn around, you're at church.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at that time, I was the choir director of
Mm-hmm.
all the choirs, and there were choir rehearsals on different days.
Right.
So
And you were the secretary too?
I was secretary much later,
Ooh.
but while I was the choir director,
Mm-hmm.
it was choir director over the youth choir, the adult choir, the
Mm-hmm.
mass choir, the men's choir. Yes,
That's a lot.
that's a lot of choirs. Plus, I had Bible study,
Mm-hmm.
women's ministry meeting, leadership meetings, stuff like that. And I remember my husband said, "You at that church too much." And I was taught that when your husband say you at that church too much,
Mm-hmm.
you need to bag up from the church.
Yeah, you need to come home.
Mhm.
Because your first ministry is your
Is your
house.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is your marriage, is your
yeah.
kids.
Mhm.
You know, there's no point in being in church 7 days a week and not taking care of your children.
Right.
Uh,
Children are neglected,
right.
house is neglected,
Yeah.
husband is
Right.
neglected, and I'm neglected
Yes. Mm-hmm.
because basically I am moving in guilt mode.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't do it, not even thinking about if I wasn't here,
Somebody will do it.
somebody would do
It will
it.
get the or sometimes you realize, and you've taught me this. Sometimes you're doing too much. Sometimes that's not something that needs to be done. Sometimes we come up with so many activities, and it's like, is that one necessary? So it's not necessarily that somebody else may be done. They realize maybe we didn't even need to do that.
Yeah. And then I remember, when you're in a small church
Mm-hmm.
and there are more responsibilities than people,
Mm-hmm.
then your responsibilities start doubling, tripling,
Mm-hmm.
quadrupling.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, you church secretary, you the director of all the choirs, you're the janitorial service, and you pass out the programs on print them and pass them out. I mean, it's laughable, but unfortunately,
Yeah, but it's true.
it's reality.
It is reality.
Been there. You got to be able to laugh, okay?
I'm trying to think. I think it was when I was last in corporate America. I had uh, at one point I had a position where I was a manager over like 4 or 5 departments, and somebody asked me, "Is there something that I can do for you?" And what do you need? And my answer was like, "Can you get me some rollerblades?"
Mm.
Because the problem is, you know, as a manager, you think you can't just sit and probably in church either. You can't pass the programs from the office. You can direct the choir from your house. So, and the way our building was set up, I had two of my departments near my office, but the other ones were on the other side. So here I am. I'm so sorry I didn't have a Fitbit back then.
Golf cart.
Oh, yes, I needed something to. I would have had all my 10,000 steps a day going back and forth. And most of my departments were call centers. It was customer service, or it was intake, or it was claims, but all of them were on the phones. So everybody needed a supervisor and a manager, and I'm here and I'm there. And I didn't think of the golf cart. That would have been a good one. But my ask question was like, can I have some roller?
What does security in the mall ride on?
Yeah, one of those. That's what I needed. I needed a
Yeah,
through the
you
whole.
did.
Yes.
And yours needed to be, kind of revved up so you can get there quick.
I needed two. One it charging while the other one was running. And I learned real quick that heels and cuteness was out the door because I was running all day. So I learned that flats were my best friend because that's the kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, you need rollerblades. So and the reason I came to that is because it brought me to that vision of you trying to finish doing the secretary stuff and then setting up programs and passing them around. You needed one of those cards too.
I remember a few years after I retired from being a secretary, people forgot I wasn't a secretary anymore. And I'm in church service, worship. And people were coming to me, tapping on my shoulder, like, where are the programs? I have not been the administrator in a year.
Ooh, a year.
What do you mean, where are the programs? Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I forgot. Really?
You need to go ask somebody else.
Really?
Yeah.
But yeah, over the years, I have learned to slow down, especially in church, because being over 4 or 5 ministries, that's not guaranteed to heaven.
No,
It's
that's
more
actually guaranteed a grave.
to a hospital,
Yeah, the grave.
severe exhaustion, and
Yeah.
Mm.
And the thing is, the grave is not going to be like, oh, because I died burning myself out, it's going to get me to Jesus, because Jesus is going to tell you, I didn't ask you to do all that. You were neglecting your husband, you were neglecting your children, you were neglecting yourself. I didn't ask you to do all that.
And it was to please
People. Because he's not even to please God.
Oh, I remember one time, someone tried to make me feel guilty. And that's the day that I decided to stand up and say no and not stay to see what your response is going to be. We're getting ready for our pastor's anniversary. I'm already a church administrator working all day. I also had to squeeze in printing programs, typing up the programs for the special day, and then the regular program.
And you were still doing the choir.
Yeah. And I was getting ready to go home. And one of the ministers came in after they got off of their job. They came to the church. And I got my bag and my things and had everything laid out for them to put all the pages together. And he was like, "Are you leaving?" Yes, sir.
Yes, I am.
And he referred to something as dealing with football. We're in the final minutes, the final yards, and you just gonna walk off the field?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Because that guilt, that would have had me to put my bags down because I've already been there 8, 9, 10 hours. And because you just come in and you want to see me, back in the day, I would have stayed there just to please you. But I had gotten to the point, I have been secretarying all day long. I have been administrating all day long. I even printed out the pages of the program that the next team is supposed to be putting together.
Right.
So I don't need to stay and oversee you putting papers together that I have put chronologically in order in stacks.
Yeah.
No.
The 4-year-old can do that.
No, yeah. But unfortunately, that can be a guilt.
It is. Oh, and it happens.
And if you don't have a no button, you can be guilted into that.
Oh, absolutely.
Very, very quickly.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I've seen people with very good hearts walk away from church or faith because they confuse God with exhaustion. But God doesn't call us to burnout, He calls us to balance.
Mhm.
And that person that was telling you those things, like we were talking about, you're trying to please people because God doesn't call you to do this type of
Mhm.
things. No, He doesn't.
And Psalms 23, 2 through 3. I'm pretty sure I know this because the first line is, "The Lord is my shepherd, I
I
shall
shall know
not want."
one.
The next line is, "He maketh me to lie down in green pastures." What does that mean?
Lay
If
down.
you're laying down in green pastures, what are you doing? Enjoying the moment,
Got the
looking at
clouds.
God's creation,
Yeah.
okay, bringing peace to your mind. And then the next verse says, "And he leads me beside still waters." Okay, is that correct?
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Quite.
And then
Yes.
after then, he restores my soul. So right there, scripture 2 through 3, that's a spa day.
Yes. Sponsored by the Lord.
Yes, yes, sponsored by God.
And you know what? And that's the heart of it. God doesn't just commands rest. He leads us to it.
By example.
By example, by setting it up for us. Restoration isn't optional, it's holy. We're supposed to do 6 days a week, and the seventh day, even God rested. He, God didn't need to rest, but He did it to show us that we needed to.
Mhm.
No?
And sometimes burnout isn't about doing too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's about doing too much of the wrong thing for too long in the wrong environment.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
Maybe you're still showing up where God's asked you to move on.
Mhm.
People are like, okay, well, I need to keep, I'm carrying my cross.
Mm.
Yeah, but that was not the cross that He asked for you to carry.
Mhm.
Or maybe you're giving people who only take. Emotional burnout is often a warning light of your soul that this isn't sustainable.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So let's talk about signs that you are spiritually and emotionally drained.
Okay, let's be real now.
Mm.
Burnout can creep up on you slowly.
Oh, yeah, sometimes you don't realize it.
One day you wake up and realize joy feels like it's in the distance.
Joy who?
Mm.
You may notice things like you dread things that you usually enjoy.
Mm.
You isolate yourself because connecting feels heavy. You struggle to pray, or you pray out of obligation. Oh, if
Mhm.
I don't pray, I have to. Here I am, God. You saw me. Bye. Amen. You feel numb, not just even sad, just empty.
And here's one that hits me personally. You start resenting what you once called a blessing.
That's true. Yeah. Because sometimes, you know, we've experienced that even doing this. This is a blessing to us.
Mm.
But there's times where because we have so much of the other stuff going on, it's not that we resent it, but we're like, time to make the donuts.
By the time we get to the podcast,
It's like
yep,
I know we have to, and I know we want to, and I
Mhm.
know we were called to, but I'm drained.
yeah, because our first commitment is homeschool.
Yeah, right now it is.
Yeah, it's homeschooling. That's number one.
Yeah.
And then we're also teaching our homeschoolers about giving and community service. So the children are first.
We're being stretched thin.
We are being stretched thin
We're here.
to know that God is with us every stretch of the
Oh,
way.
absolutely. It not that we resent it, but I know that some days we don't have the same and energy
Mhm.
for the
The
things.
same enthusiasm. Yeah.
Galatians 6:9 tells us, let us know this not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we don't give up. And that's what we're doing. Some days are harder than others, but we're not giving up because we know for a fact that we were called to do this.
Yes, 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 and yes.
That verse often gets quoted as a push to keep going, but it also acknowledged that we do grow weary, and it's okay to admit it.
It's okay to be honest with God.
Yeah.
Okay. Admitting burnout isn't weakness, it's wisdom. A foolish person refuses to admit they're burned out,
Yep.
but a wise person acknowledges
Yeah.
burnout.
Right.
Because when we name it, we can invite God into it.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Here's a reflection for our Thrive family. What areas of your life are you doing for obligation instead of overflow?
Good question.
Think about that for just one moment.
How do we begin healing from burnout?
Well, like always, first step, acknowledging it. Get out of denial. Denial keeps you in the cycle. You can heal it until you name it.
And second, release the guilt around rest. Rest is not selfish, it's stewardship. God rested after creation, and he didn't need to. He was showing us the rhythm of life.
That's kind of what I was saying earlier. Yeah. And we have somebody in our life that comes and says, well, why haven't you done this? And why haven't you done that? And why haven't you done this? And it's like, because you have no idea that I've been doing A, B, and C, but you're not doing anything today. Yeah, I finally was able to sit down. So you go grab a chair and seat yourself somewhere because I was finally able to get one.
They don't realize how fortunate they are to be a sibling because they could really be hurt, especially when you calling me with your to-do list.
Lord.
Like I'm just sitting there waiting for the phone to ring, and I got my pen and pad ready. Please let them call to tell me what they need for me to do today. And then when I tell them, back off.
So rude to
Why
me.
you treat me this way? And Exodus 33 and 14 says that my presence will go with you and I will give you rest. Okay? So while you barking off orders, God don't have me sleeping.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Third, reconnect with yourself and God. Sometimes all you need to do is unplug, journal, walk, cry. Nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with a good cry.
No, not at all. Worship, breathe, let yourself just be.
And lastly, rebuild boundaries. Burnout thrives where boundaries are missing. Say no when your peace says no. For those who don't know, no and oh is a complete sentence. You can put a period behind it. You can put an exclamation mark behind it. You could say no.
Let me tell you one of the best things that I've discovered in terms of boundaries.
And
go ahead.
before she says that, you can put a question mark there. No,
You still know.
still.
The majority of us get our demands from electronics, especially our phones. We get text messages with requests or phone calls, stuff like that. All our phones nowadays have a do not disturb, and you can put it from whatever time you want in the night to whatever you want it in the morning. Now, I know there might be something like, moms, you might have a teenager, you have a young adult still living in your, or you have a child that doesn't live in your house or lives in your house, and you're like, but what if something happens to my kid? You can put an exception on your phone so that just the phone call
Certain
from the
people will
people
come
can in.
through.
The other thing is, but what if they had an accident and somebody else is calling? There's a feature where you can also add, if there's a particular call that from the same number that comes 3 times, is going to let it through. So God protects everybody, but if something actually happens when they call you like back to back, the call is going to get through. But everybody else is going to have to wait. I only have very few people in my emergency contact. And yes, because no, you're not going to text me at 3 o'clock in the morning to tell me some nonsense and you're going to wake me up. No, we're not doing this. We are not doing this. That's a boundary. The other thing with phones is all our phones have voicemail. You don't have to pick up the phone. Publicly admitting, unless you are on my phone saved, you are not going to get me. I don't answer my phone. And if you're somebody that knows me, don't leave a voicemail. I'll call you back. Text me. That's easier. You probably will catch me better if you text me than if you call me. I worked in call center for so many years. I don't do much of the phone talking anymore. So yeah, there are ways to put boundaries. I don't know if I would ever do this, but I know people that say that if you don't call me and tell me that you're coming over and you just show up, I don't open the door. I've never had that situation happen to me. I don't know if I would. I don't have a big of a circle of people that are just going to show up at my house. But we had that situation. Somebody who called us that they were on their way without telling us. And we were like, we're none of us, and it was true. We were not lying. None of us at home. But I'm coming. Good luck for you,
I'm
because
sorry, when that thought first came to your
you needed
mind,
to go.
you failed to share that idea with me.
Right.
So when I woke up a couple of days before, I made other plans. And these plans I want to execute and be a
Right.
part of. Yes, I remember that person. And I said, "Where are you?" And they said, "Getting off on your exit." Now, the whole time you were in the car, however long it took you to get from your house to my house, your mind never said to see if they're available. Okay, I don't have to be busy. On
What if it was
Sunday afternoons,
it
you
was a
know, I like
Sunday?
watching my crime show, watching a little wrestling,
Yes.
you know, catching up on some news and stuff like that, but mostly my crime show.
Yeah, and the next question will I go to Natty's? Natty was not home.
Yeah, she's not there.
I was not, because that day I had decided it was a beautiful day and I was with the baby. Well, I was with the baby at the park. And I was not going to pack my child and go home because you decided to come to my house without letting me know.
Yeah, we have to respect each other's privacy.
And boundaries, yeah.
And we have to respect each other's boundaries. I mean, you come over, I'm not expecting you. You want to eat. I wasn't planning to cook today. Okay, I got a shake in the fridge and I'm good with that. But not only do you come over,
And I have 5 people in my house and I have 5 pork chops. I wasn't planning on entertaining, you know?
yeah, that's why I think it's better for you to alert
That you're
the
coming.
people that you're coming with, coming to visit. I mean, there's nothing wrong with surprising people, but
There is. Especially if it's that kind of a visit, because you might be the one surprised.
and maybe that day was just meant for you to take a long drive there and back.
Because, like I said, if they had showed up at my house, they would have been surprised. I was not here. I was physically not here, and I was not coming I had just gotten to the park. Jason had found some friends, so he was all in it.
So
And
there
I
was no way you gonna be able to take him away without.
wasn't planning to. And then I had a bag of yarn, and I had found me a gazebo where I could see this side of the playground and that side of the playground. So I was in the perfect spot. I had a bag of snacks and water because I knew we were going to be there for a while. And I found a real good spot where I was sitting crocheting and I could see the child wherever he was. He would come, eat, drink water, whatever, and go back again. Where was I going to go? I was in heaven.
Like I said, no is a complete sentence.
Yes.
Okay, and we need to use it more.
Yeah. So if you're gonna surprise somebody, I mean, surprise them with a gift, surprise them with some else, surprise them with a phone call. You might not get them through, but okay. But unless the house is burning
Before you get on the freeway in another state, okay?
even if it's on the other street, you live 10 minutes from me. We have plans together, and I text you I'm on my way. You live the same 10, 15 minutes
10,
away.
15, yeah.
And we have plans together. And you text me, I'm on my way. We don't show up to each other's house like, surprise! And I know that if you show up here, I'm not gonna. Well, you have keys to the house. I don't even have to be bothered.
Don't be putting all our business out there.
And if I show up to your house, if there's people there, I'm sure you're not gonna be like, "Hey, what you doing here?" I'm not gonna have a problem. But I think there's a level of respect.
Yeah.
Because what if you're busy?
Yeah. Yeah.
What if this was the day that you decided that you didn't want to wear clothes for other people?
Yeah. To answer the door looking like, a decent person.
Right. What if it's a day that I want to be in my most raggedy pajamas?
Hmm?
You never know.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Psalms 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." That stillness is not laziness, alignment. Ask yourself, where can I create space for stillness this Well, food for thought.
We'll have to keep thinking on that one as we go forward. Let's do a short mindful moment together. If you can, close your eyes.
Please take a deep breath in and release it slowly. Again, in through your nose and out through your mouth.
Now think of something that's been heavily lately that weighs you down, that weight that you've been carrying. Picture yourself handing it to God.
Feel his peace covering you. His word says in Isaiah 40:31, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strengths. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary."
And another part of that scripture says, wait, I say, on the Lord. You don't have to earn your rest. You just have to receive your rest.
Yeah. So, family, know this: burnout doesn't mean you're broken. It means you've been carrying too much
For too long,
without refills.
you are still enough. You are still chosen. You are still loved. So you need to rest. Okay? And rest is your right as a child of God.
Philippians 4:6-7 tells us, "Do not be anxious about anything."
Don't worry about that.
There you go. But in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God will guard your hearts and minds.
Yes. If you take nothing else from us today, take this. God's peace guards us when performance can't.
Yay. Yeah. Mm.
That was a good one.
And you're allowed to step back, slow down, and heal. And even Jesus rested. So, the reality is sometimes we do this to ourselves. We do it, and I think it's a programming issue. But just like when we are born again, we need to reprogram ourselves, take out all the things of the world, and program ourselves the ways of the Lord. This part of it is part of that new program, programming ourselves to what's important. The stop and smell the roses is not a cliche. It's really important. Sometimes I was telling the kids in the car the other day because they were fussing about where they were their electronics. And I was like, can you just look out of the trees? Forget about the phone and the tablet. Look at the trees. See people.
And I was talking to the same children the other day when they went out to the garage to help their papa. And I suggested, leave your phone in the house. They looked at me as if
you cussed them out.
I mean, I was just saying bad things to them, and I wasn't. All I said was, you don't need your phone while you're going through the garage. So leave your phone in here. And the look they gave me let me know that if I turned around and walked away, that phone was going to go outside with them. So being the grandmother that I am, I said, give me your phone and just stood there. And they're going through, give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me now. And when they gave it to me, I put it somewhere. And guess what?
They didn't die.
A couple hours later, they
Yes.
came back in.
Uh-huh.
I told him, you did not die. He said, well, tell you the truth. I had a good time. Oh,
Wow.
can I have my phone back? No, no, you don't need your phone back.
But no, think about this. And I know I've been guilty of this. How many times you don't get a good night's sleep because you're scrolling through social media, hooked up on a particular topic or, going down a rabbit hole, and all of a sudden you look and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. If that has never happened to you, I'm very proud of you. It has happened to me. Or which is worse. Or you're hooked on a particular show and you see season whatever, and you see episode 1, and you see episode 2, and you see episode 3. That thing is streaming. It's not going anywhere. It's not live show. We don't do those anymore.
And you can pick up where you left off at any.
But no, I need to know what's gonna happen. And then you're burnt out because you were not making your rest a priority
Right.
because you were hooked on the wrong thing. Because nobody does that. Well, I'm not going to say nobody because there's might be somebody who say, I am, does that reading the Bible. Oh, I'm going to have to see what happens next in the next chapter of the Bible. I haven't met one. I haven't. With the Bible, people usually fall asleep.
Bible has good stories in
It does do. It does do. But I have never heard of somebody who spent until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning because they needed to know what happened next. If you're out there, I'm sorry, I apologize. I haven't met you. That's all. But with social media or chapters of the show that you're streaming and you want to know what's about to happen
a
next.
video game.
Oh, yes. And it's like, yeah, I go to sleep and, when Mason was a baby, he used to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning every night to get a bottle. The problem with that is he doesn't get up to get a bottle, but he trained my bladder that at 3 o'clock in the morning, my body needed to wake up. So even though he sleeps through the night, I don't. And then I wake up and I hear this one over here. Why are you awake? Oh, I don't know what time it is, but it is 3 o'clock in the morning. Go to sleep. And then gets the next morning. I can't read. My brain is foggy. Right, because you didn't get enough rest. But that doesn't only happen to teenagers. It happened to grown-ups. And then, you do it tonight and you know it the next night, and then all of a sudden your brain is fried because you didn't get enough rest. That's on you. So, one of the things you need to do is boundaries. You have to set up your boundaries. And I'll tell you this about with the phone. If you put that do not disturb on the phone, there's a feature. You put all your apps in black, you can't see.
Yeah,
squat.
everything's in black and white.
You can't see squat.
Yeah.
You can't do nothing. You have to actually take it off so that
Manually take it off.
And if you're doing that, then you already know you're wrong. Let's talk about resources that we can do.
Yes, before we go, we want to remind you that if you're struggling with burnout, mental exhaustion, or hopelessness, there is help and there is hope. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis, text 988 anytime, day or night, for free for confidential support in the United States. And if you're outside of the United States, you can find international hotlines at findahelpline.com. If a loved one is having a mental health crisis, please dial 911 or take them to the nearest emergency room.
If you are experiencing a domestic violence relationship or you need to talk, remember the National Domestic Hotline. It is 1-800-799-7233 or thehotline.org. They also provide confidential online chats with local referrals.
And for faith and emotional support, focus on the family counseling line is 855-771-4357. And that's for free Christian counseling sessions.
For abuse recovery ministries and services, you have ARMS, which is the abuserecovery.org. Let me say that again. ARMS, ARMS, and their website is abuserecovery.org for emotional, psychological, and spiritual abuse recovery.
Local church, pastoral care, or Christian therapy centers can also provide confidential help.
If you have insurance, know that one of the categories that you can request for referrals is Christian counselors. They can give you a list because that's one of the categories they can sort counselors by. So if you have insurance company, know that your insurance company can do that for you. We share these episodes because mental health and emotional health matters.
Yes.
You don't have to go through burnout, trauma, and every emotional pain alone.
Please reach out, get help, find community, and rest when you need to.
And if this episode spoke to you, we'd love for you to keep walking this journey with us. Remember to follow us on social media. We are at the Rising Muse, wherever you hang out online.
And subscribe to our podcast. Please leave us a review and share this episode with someone who needs a reminder that they're not alone.
We want to thank you for being here. Remember that we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we can only do that if you help us.
Yes.
Thank you for spending this time with us. May God's peace restores what burnout has drained, and may His rest fill you again.
Until next time, keep believing, keep breathing, keep rising. We love you all.
And don't forget to thrive. Have a blessed day.
Bye bye.